Привет, привет, меня зовут Golden, но сегодня мы будем говорить про офтальмологию. So I'll put that into English. Today we're going to basically speak about how to get into ophthalmology training. So quick introduction about myself. I'm an F2 trainee at the moment, currently on my last rotation, and I'm going to be starting ophthalmology in August as an ST1. So I thought I'd just share some useful tips how to get into training and things that you can be doing now. So as you probably know, ophthalmology is super competitive. I think this year there was about 600 or so applicants that applied, and there was only 84, 86 jobs in the country. So it's quite competitive. So you need to be doing some things, as in getting to work as soon as possible in terms of getting your portfolio, etc., etc. But I'm going to go into that a bit later. So the ophthalmology application, as you may already not know, split into three parts. So it's the MSOA exam, it's the portfolio, and it's the interview. So the MSOA this year was worth 20%, the portfolio was worth 50%, and the interview was worth 30%. So you can see how it was divided this year. So sometimes it does vary slightly according from year to year. So let's start with the most obvious one, the MSOA exam. So you normally take this exam roughly around, it's normally around January, February, early February time. So what you want to be doing is making sure you go on you visit some question banks. The ones that I used was Past Medicine and eMedica, and these are really good question banks to use. Of course, there's others out there that you can use, but making sure you know score well, doing loads of questions, loads and loads of practice questions until you feel like you're ready for the exam. And I would probably say my biggest tip is making sure that you focus on the MSOA. Even though it's only worth 20%, if you don't get a good score, then you don't get an interview. So basically the MSOA is basically used as a cutoff in order to get an interview. So you really do need to focus and prepare well for the MSOA. I prepared sometime last year, October, in order to sit the exam in early February. So you can see that I spent quite a bit of time on preparing for the MSOA exam. So if you're fortunate enough to pass MSOA and get above the certain cut-off score, which will allow you to go to interview, then that's really good. That's fantastic work. So the next part of the ophthalmology application is obviously the portfolio, but this is worth 50%. So you really do need to be working on your portfolio way before you've even started preparing for your MSOA exam. So I started on my portfolio at least 1.5 years in advance. So just before basically my F1 year, I already knew from med school that I wanted to do ophthalmology. So I obviously went on the website in terms of where the portfolio is, and they show you what you need to do. So there will be a link at the bottom of this video where you can have a look at the portfolio in terms of what you need to be doing. But in essence, you just need to do as much as you can on the portfolio. To be honest, there isn't really many excuses for you not getting good marks on the portfolio section. I mean, most of it is, courses, audits, presentations, publications if you can, but that's quite difficult. Just showing your commitment to ophthalmology, going on these taster courses, attending eye clinics and things like that. I won't go into too much detail in this video because all of it is self-explanatory on the website, and there will be a link at the bottom of this. So again, the portfolio is really important. Again, it's worth 50%. So you really need to be looking at it. What I did is I printed it off and just started ticking things off as I went through my F1 and my F2 year, and that should hold you in good stead. And the last section, the last part of the ophthalmology application is obviously the interview. So the interview this year was a bit different because of the COVID situation, so it was done virtually. I mean, normally you'd have to go to Bristol to do it, but this year we did it in the comfort of our own homes. And this year it was basically a communication question where they just basically see how you interact with a patient in a clinical scenario. So a bit different, but it's something that's doable, and that was worth 30% this year. But it is doable, I would say. But again, it does require a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, a lot of sacrifices. So things like, if you like to go out and have fun and go partying, you do need to sacrifice a couple of things in order to make sure that your portfolio and making sure you're preparing for an MSOA and all of that stuff is out. You've got it. Another thing I would say is that if you can do the Part 1 exam, as in the FRC Yacht Part 1, I think that this would definitely make you stand out from other applicants. I did the FRC Yacht Part 1, did it in my F2 year, passed it, but it was my second time doing the exam. I've attempted my first attempt before my F1 year even, and I just missed it, so I thought I'd just attempt it again, and I did it in my beginning of F2, and then yeah, I passed it. So if you can do that exam, it's worth 3 points. I would definitely recommend that if you have the energy and determination to do it, then definitely do the exam. It's definitely will set you apart. But yeah, it's all worth it. Ophthalmology is the golden ticket, as they say. I mean, I haven't done an ophthalmology job, but I have lots of colleagues who told me about it, and they're super happy, and it's the most amazing thing. And I do have some experience in ophthalmology from med school, about a couple of months, and it was best. I mean, that's the reason why I'm doing it, because I've been exposed to it quite a lot during my medical training in Russia. So it's definitely worth pursuing. So I think the home point message is you have to work really hard in order to get a seat, as in to get a training number, and it's hard work. It is very hard work, but it's definitely worth it. All right, cool. I'll leave it there, and if you have any questions, make sure to just comment on the video, and I'll get back to you. And anything that's not clear, anything that I haven't said, you can just let me know. I'm contactable on Facebook, Instagram, pretty much most of the social media websites. So if you're thinking about ophthalmology, I wish you all the best, and yeah, if I can do it, so can you. Cool. Peace out. Давай, до свидания.